Good morning, ladies and gents. Neil from ratinghorses.com. Hope you're well. The date is Monday, the 22nd of September, and time is 11:45 a.m. Well, it's been a little bit of a while since I've managed to get on the old microphone and record a short video for you. So I thought today, well, I've got 5 minutes. I will do that for you. Now, today, I'm going to concentrate on one race. And I have to be honest with you, I've gone through the race cards, and racing is pretty awful today. Lots of low grade races, which I'm not a fan of. I really do believe you should be looking at grade fours upwards. Um, Sometimes grade fives, but definitely leave the grade six races alone, because the horses are not being funny, the dregs of the racing world are very inconsistent. The higher the grade you go, the more consistent horses tend to be. So I have struggled to find a race, and there's two at Hamilton who are grade fives, and we'll concentrate on the 408. And I'm just going to quickly do what I do when I'm looking for a little bit of value, but I'm also going to go back to the same race using a little bit of a method which you can follow and incorporate and alter as you see fit. So I'm just going to make a note of the 408 Hamilton. Now, as normal with these things, I do not know if there's any non-runners. I haven't checked the prices. I don't want to have prices in my head, as it were. I'm looking for value. Say racing is really poor today, proper Monday fare, but I have found a grade five handicap with 8 runners, unless there is non-runners. So hopefully we try and find a little bit of each way value. So the 408 Hamilton. First of all, we look at the ratings. I'm going to concentrate on the main criteria, of course. This is a very tight race. The top rated horse has got a handicap, sorry, a total rating of 23. The next is 22. And even the lowest, the eighth placed horse, Caldio, has a rating of 16. And that's pretty rare. But that does mean that we can probably concentrate on all these horses, looking at the individual key criteria, and nothing would put me off there. Must really relate only the 8 runners, but draw bias, historical draw bias, says the Stash the Cash and Military Girl are in the most favourable stalls for today. Um, Two horses have won over the distance. Six have won over course and distance, so they've all been there and done it basically today at Hamilton. We can see the actual bottom rated horse Caldio, it comes out top on the OF algorithm, and Parsiak comes out second with Impressa third. Now, the one thing I will say with the OF is I tend to personally stay clear of any horse that has got a negative OF. So that'll be see Thornbury Pearl. I'm just going to highlight these, and you can do this on your own spreadsheet. Those are two negatives for me, and I will probably take out Military Girl as well, because that's only just a positive score. Now, no horse has been in fantastic form. No trainer is standing out there. Speed figures, we can see the Stash the Cash and Parsiak are top ranked, as well as Keldio at the bottom there. Power rating, um, Impressa 54. There's a little bit of a drop then down to Digital, that has 43. We have Thornaby Pearl 35, and we've got Caldio at 33. It is a handicap race, so let's have a look at see if the horses are going up in weight or down. We can see that Impressa today is off a mark of 68. That is column AD. Last time out, it was off a mark of 68, and we can see last time out it comes second. So the handicap, you could argue, is giving it a bit of a chance. It has come down from 72, so has been running off this mark today, 68. for a couple of runs now and has finished third and second, so there's been there or thereabouts. Move down to Digital, who today's off a mark of 67, has dropped down quite a lot in previous runs from 79, so it's £12 lower than from 6 runs ago. Further £3 drop from its last run when it came seventh. It was fourth last time out, so you could argue the handicap is giving this horse more and more of a chance, but it's still a little bit off what is required to win a race. Stash the Cash has also dropped down the weights from 74 down to 66. That's £8. It's off a mark of 66 again today, and again you can see the horse has finished sixth, fifth, and eighth in its last 3 runs, and indeed the highest mark this horse has ever run off is 71. So you could argue he's not in form at the moment, and he's £5 below the previous highest winning mark. Parisiac, sorry, was off a mark of 70 6 runs ago, has gone up in the weights and then has steadily drifted back down. Was off a mark of 71 last time, finished third. It's off the same mark again today. Has previously won off a high life win mark of 85, so that's a stone lower than its previous highest winning mark. Keldeo, 72, steadily gone up in the weights, was off a mark of 74 last time out. Only finished seventh, and it's dropped a further £2 today. So it's running off the same mark as it did 5 or 6 runs ago, where you can see the horse was finishing second twice, so third and second, sorry. So again, in with the shout, you would have thought with the handicapper. Lifetime horse stats. A good one there for Stash the Cash. 2 wins from 3 runs. Just the 1 run here for Keldeo. No wins. We'll say it's just had the 1 run. Distance is always very key, I think. Especially, always keep an eye on horses in races that are running over the longer distances, the 1 mile twos, 1 mile fours, 2 miles maybe. Distance does become very key. 5, 6 furlongs, it can be a little bit hit and miss. Going today soft, 4 wins from 17 for Impressa, 3 wins from 9 from the top 2, but I have ignored those because of those negative OF ranking. 1 win from 3 for Keldeo. Trainer, Keldeo's trainer Ollie Pers has had 11 runners in the last 14 days, and 4 of those have won. So that's a 36% strike rate. So that is pretty key. And obviously, looks like unfancied runners have also done well because to a £1 stake. Following those 11 runners, you would be £36 up. So that's over a 300% REO if my maths serves me right. So looking at those figures, I wouldn't dismiss. I'm going to just write these down. A bit of a short list. Keldeo. Don't be put off that it is 8th on these ratings, but I'll say there's not an awful lot amongst those. Does come out on the OF, top speed, 4th on the power. He's off the same mark as was a few runs ago, where he's finishing third and second. Trainer has been informed recently. Parzak, let's have another quick look at the. It's off a mark of 71. Riziak, shall I say? I'm just going to make. What's the name for that? Stash the Cash. Looks like it probably needs a little bit more help off the handicapper. Digital down in weights, sorry, up in weights a couple of pounds now, but from its last run, again, it has dropped down the weights by £12 from 6 runs ago, but there's maybe signs of the horse getting, just looking at the course distance, going is a little bit concerned, although only two runs on this going. Impressor, off the same mark as the last two runs, but it finished third and second. As one at the course, as one at the distance. Going is key. So I've made a short list of three with Impressa and Keldeo top two, and maybe Parisiac. Sorry, Parisiac, shall I say? Please forgive me. Now, if you want to get rid of these highlighted colours, just quickly tap that arrow at the top and you'll go back to normal. Now, what I'm going to do is keep an eye on those three, but I'm just going to quickly go down, and this is another quick way you can use this. And of course, you can change the criteria that you're interested. I'm just quickly going to go through this. I don't want to take up too much of your time today. So I'm going to start with every horse is highlighted in red. And then if something alerts me as key, as a positive, I'm going to change a red to an orange, and then I'm going to change an orange to a yellow, and then a yellow to a white, and then a white to a green. It'll all pretty much come clear, I hope, in just one moment. So I'm looking ideally at the top two or three on each criteria. Okay, so we all start on red. Impressa and Thornaby Burl, I'm going to drop back into an orange because there's not much in the ratings, but those are 4 or 5 clear of the rest of the field. I'm going to give Stash the Cash to orange and Military Girl to orange because it's got historical positive draw bias. I'm probably going to also put Impressor back down to yellow because it's probably the one with that looks like it's going to, sorry, got previous decent form. Course and distance, I'm going to give all of these a step up, so that one now will become a white. Now this might seem a bit confusing for you, but if you write these colours down with a little piece of paper and take all the positives and just go one step up, as it were, then it will make sense. So orange then becomes yellow, the two reds will become orange. Orange will become yellow, and finally Parisiac will become orange. Just want to concentrate on those course and distance. Now for rank, I'm going to concentrate on the top two. There's a bit of a gap then to 3.38, so Keldeo will go orange and Parisiac will now go yellow. Same with speed, Stash the Cash and Parisiac. Speed ranked 1, so those will both go white, and Keldeo will go yellow. And finally, the power rating. Yeah, I'm just going to concentrate on the top two. The one he's got 54, the one on 43, and then the rest are pretty much of muchness. So Impressor will go to our top colour, green, and Digital will go to yellow. Now I'm going to continue with this, but hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I'm highlighting these in 5 stages. So green is, once you're green, unless there's a couple of negatives along the way that really stand out. I'm not going to concentrate on the negatives in just one moment. But if you use this in color-coded stages, of course, you can use more color codes if you want. You can use less. It's just to help you try and narrow down the field. So I go green the highest, then white, then yellow, orange, red. And if you try and think of traffic lights, that may well help. But I do put a white in there between green and yellow. Just personal preference, but it's just hopefully gives you an idea of something that you can do. And of course, you can use a lot more criteria. If you hear weird noises in the background, it's my dog who's asleep right next to me and she's having some sort of dream. So forgive that. Um, Before I move off, I was to say I'm very key on. Um, I don't like to see a negative OFF rating, so there's two here. Never Dark will now go back to red because this is a negative, and Digital will go back to orange. There's nothing else really negative as far as I want to go in that criteria so far. I'm just quickly going to go through the official ratings. As I say, I think Impressa, the fact it's run off 68 the last two runs, has come third and second. I think that's a positive, but of course we can't go any further than green. Thornaby Pearl has been there or thereabouts, 62, 62, 60, 64. Dropped back down again a pound today. Nothing I'm going to mess with there. Never Dark was off a mark of 76 6 runs ago. Has come down to 68, off 68 today, but again, not really showing anything. Digital was off a mark of 79 6 runs ago. He's now down to a mark of 65 today. So you could argue that this horse is trying to get a little bit of a help from the handicapper, but there's not enough interest from me. Stash the cash 74, down £8. Again, nothing from me. I think he's still well in the grip of the handicapper. Parisiac was off a mark of 70, went up a little bit, is now off a mark of 71. Finished third last time out. Maybe it needs to drop down another pound or two. So nothing positive or negative there. Military Girl off a mark of 71, still off a mark of 71. Again, look at the form, not great. Keldeo is off a mark of 72 6 runs ago, has steadily gone up and then dropped down to 74 last time out, and off another £2 drop today. But looking at that previous one, so there's nothing I wanted positive or negative there. Course and distance, and of course, use the scroll bar to help things easier to navigate. Course, always obviously look at the percentages, but obviously if a horse will have a high percentage if it's won just once in from 2 runs or so. So please take that into account. Probably one negative there with just the one win from 8 runs on the course, so I'm going to make that a little bit of a negative. Obviously positives. Stash the cash, 2 wins from 3. So yeah, I will. That now is a green. Distance again, as I say, 5, 6, 7 furlongs, pretty much of muchness. Not an awful lot to stand out there. Going is a big deal, especially if you're talking soft and because some horses just do not go on it. Having said that, if it's really poor quality going, then of course trainers 9 times out of 10 will take their horses out. The few positives I'm going to put in here, I think that's quite a good going rate. 17 runs is a lawful lot, and to win 4 is decent, as is 3 from 9, so that will go white. 3 from 8 as well, so that will now become orange. And 1 from 3. I'm just going, yeah, I'm going to put that to white. And finally, we're going to look at the trainer stats. That is good form, recent form. 4 winners from 11 of the last 14 days. Not been too many runners. That's less than obviously one runner per day over the last 14 days. But yeah, I think that's a positive. So we'll turn that to green. Oops, I'm not quite sure what's happened there. 8% is not great, is it? 3 winners from 14. So I think Military Girl will be negative for that. That will go orange. I think the same for Digital as well. Just the 2 winners from 30. No winners from 11. Not so many runners as all the other trainers, apart from Thornaby. So if you could say you just had a 1 winner from that, it'd be 10%. I'm going to just make that a slight negative. So that's white. So I hope you can see there roughly what I've done. Okay. Of course, everybody would work differently. You might not completely agree with what I've just done with certain aspects of the criteria there. But what it has done is narrow down the field again. There's quite a few negatives. I'd concentrate on the green and the white, and the green will be Stash the Cash. Just going to make a note of these. Keldeo, and then maybe Impressa, question mark, and Thornaby L, question mark. So the first time around, the two positives were Impressa and Keldeo with a question mark over Parisiac. This time doing the colour coding, the positives are Stash the Cash and again Keldeo, and question marks over Impressa and Thornaby Pearl. So just looking at that, you could argue that Keldeo and Impressa are the two um, that seem to be highlighted on the two different aspects I've done here, the two different types of criteria. Finally, and this is the big finally for me. I've said it once, I've said it a million times. These two columns here, columns AB and AC, are very important. It gives you a really good indication on how the markets are working. The forecast column is the price the horse was when the ratings were collated. So last night, around 6:30 to 7 p.m., when our software started to churn out all this data, this was the price of each horse at that time. So we could see that Impressa would have been 10 to 3, Thornaby would have been 11 to 2, Never Dark 6 to 1, and so on. Our odds takes into account all the data on the spreadsheet for every horse, for every single race, and much, much more as well that I don't want to bore you with. But let's just say this is a great little tool, great little algorithm that gives you the price of what we believe each horse should be to be offering value. Okay, so if you can see here, Never Dark, bearing in mind this is decimal, so that would be 7 to 1. So if for whatever reason you've narrowed down your field and you think, well, Never Dark is the one for me, we are telling you that great. That's your horse you want. That's great, but do not back this horse unless it is giving you value, and the value we suggest this horse should be 7 to 1. If you can get bigger, great. If it's 3, 4 to 1, 5 to 1, then maybe hold back, because although this horse may go and win, it's not giving you the value, it's not giving you the edge on that bookmaker, and long term you will lose. Okay, the only way to win long term, again, I've said it a million times, is to continue to find that edge on the bookmaker. So I'm just going to make a couple of notes on these horses that have come in as 13 to 2 on my shortlist. So Impressa last night was 10 to 3, Keldeo 13 to 2, Thornaby Pearl was 11 to 2, and Stash the Cash was 10 to 1. So that was last night. Now I'm going to look at the live odds. I'm going to go over to Oddschecker, see what the current prices are, and let's see if there's been any market drifts one way or another. So we are 408 at Hamilton. And we can see that's great, there's no non-runners. Okay, so Impressa is still available at 10 to 3. So the odds last night were 10 to 3. We could see there's probably been a little bit of money for this horse this morning, because those squares are highlighted in like a bluey grey colour, which means that, you know, the odds are decreasing a little. Keldeo 13 to 2. So that has drifted out to 9 to 1. Stash the Cash is 7 to 2. And Thornaby Pearl is the outside market 12-1. So I've made a note of those. I'm going to go back to the spreadsheet. Okay, and I'm just going to quickly go back and put all these back to normal so it doesn't influence our, oops, back to, what have I done there? I have no idea. Oh, here we go. Here we are, we're back. So there we go. Just move that over slightly. Right. Impressor last night. Now that's come. We've done two different ways of maybe working out how to narrow down the field. Impressor has come out quite well both times. Now Impressor was available at 10-3 last night. Our odds suggest this horse should be around between 7-2 and 4-1, so not a massive difference. And the current odds are 10-3, so it's been pretty stable, and that has been favourable, as I say, on our two different ways of narrowing down the field. Keldeo, as you can look down here, last night when the ratings were collated, this horse was available at 13-2. Our odds virtually match up identical to this, saying that this horse, if you're interested, should be around 13-2. It's currently available at 9-1. So for me, you may want to delve a little bit deeper, but for me, you've got a little bit of each way value there. To quickly go through the others, Stash the Cash didn't come out well at all first time round, narrow down the field, but did come out okay second time around. Was available at 11-1 last night. Our odds are suggesting for this to offer any value, you should be looking around 7-1. So last night this horse would have been offering value, but the live odds are 7-2. So obviously there's a big positive there that there's been money for this horse since last night, but the negative is it's not offering us any value. It hasn't got a 7-2 odds chance according to our software algorithm. So for me, obviously it's a positive that there's been an awful lot of money for it overnight, but it's a massive negative. We're looking for double the current 7-2, so that would be a no-go for me. The final one that come out well on our second chance of narrowing down the field was Thornaby Pearl. Last night, this horse was available at 11-2. Our odds are suggesting that's not far off. We were looking just out. We'd be looking for 6-1 or slightly bigger for this to be offering value. This horse is actually the outsider on of the field at 12-1. So there's a positive and a negative there. The positive is, of course, we can virtually get double of what our odds suggest this horse should be to be offering value. But the negative on the other side of the coin is this horse has drifted out from last night's price of 11-2, has almost doubled in price. Well, bigger than double the price in 12-1. So although that is offering value, you have to be careful in the fact that there's no money for this horse whatsoever. It's almost doubled in price, and that is a negative. So for me, I think I would like to stick with Impressor, where its price has been stable since last night, and it has come out well on both sides of us narrow down the field. And the other one is Keldeo. And I think we were looking for an each way price there, so maybe a small win bet on Impressor, an each way price on Keldeo that is offering value. And but again, just be a little bit wary that it has drifted in the market from last night's price of 13-2. Not massively, but it is currently available at 9-1. Okay, everybody's different. Everybody wants to use the ratings in a different way. You may be looking for win bets, you might be looking for a really high strike rate, sure things, if there is a sure thing, of course. Some people just like to look for really good big each way value. Whatever you decide, always bear in mind all the criteria, okay? And most importantly, always remember the strength of the race. This is a grade 5 race. Horses can be unpredictable. Grade 6s are a little bit of a graveyard. If you're starting to get into grade 3s, grade 4s, and of course the group horses and listed horses, then horses hold the form better. Of course, the supplements for trainers to put these horses in races, some of them can be very, very high prices, and of course, they're only doing that if they think they're in with a chance of some prize money. Less so in the lesser grades. So always bear that in mind. But whatever you decide, only bet what you can afford to lose. Of course, we're not going to lose. Long term thinking is the key. Getting that edge is the key. But always look for that edge on the bookmaker. It is the biggest thing that you need to concentrate on. Anyway, whatever you're on today, I hope you enjoyed this good video. Please comment, let us know your thoughts. Email in to us at neil@ratinghorses.com. And I'll speak to you very soon. Take care.